I look at my BlackBerry and I check my emails. I lost a couple of clients. I had an angry email from another colleague that was upset at me about something. And I just felt like it's just raining so much shit all at once. I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna walk away. Like, fuck this. I don't wanna deal with it anymore. And that's exactly the moment I had. And I called my performance coach, Kai McBride. Kai tells me, I know you're good at what you do, and you know you're good at what you do, but does anybody else? And the answer was no. He said, if I Google you, what am I gonna find? How we survive in this current economy and where it's headed, guys, with all of the disruption, you had better be evolving. You had better be sharp, and you'd better be visible. Welcome back, guys, to the LFG Energy podcast. And today, I want to talk about something a little different. Actually, share with you a story about how all of this has come to be, why I'm at where I'm at and continuing to grow as an entrepreneur, as a creator, as an aspiring thought leader, in hopes that it will inspire you to take control over the central theme of today, which is your personal brand. You see, I didn't even know what one was, and I'm going to take you back about 8 years ago when there was a moment in my career when I was ready to quit. And many of you who are in real estate or in mortgage or you work close to me, you know this story. But it goes a little something like this. I, again, was at a 16-point year in my career. So you would think that I had a lot of respect from my market, that my colleagues saw me as an actual value-adding peer. But what if I told you that it was the opposite of all of that? I was actually completely commoditized. I was worth nothing more to the marketplace than the interest rate that was stapled to my forehead. That's all people thought of me as. Nobody cared about the fact that I was very solution-oriented. Nobody cared about the fact that I dressed better than most of my colleagues, even though that shouldn't always matter, but I think it matters a little bit. Nobody cared that I was such a relationship guy and that I could bring people together, keep people calm in a transaction, find a way out no matter what. None of that carried any value whatsoever. So there was this particular day where it all was going to come to a head. And I had a scheduled coffee meeting. Now, anyone listening to this can relate, whether you are someone that has just been trying to make that sale, trying to get up and get that promotion, trying to move up to the next level or rank, whatever it is that you're aspiring to grow within, there's going to be some relatability here. So I had a coffee meeting scheduled with a potential partner that I was hoping to get some business from. Now, in my business, the old way of doing things, and sadly, some people still subscribe to it, is that you make as many calls or send out as many emails, or today, DMs, as possible, and try and get people to sit down with you and have coffee, and you have what I call the worst first date. You ask these artificial questions amongst one another of how you got in the business, what do you like about it, and then everybody talks about how great they are at what they do. And ultimately what comes of it is nothing. So I was on one of these coffee dates, or at least so I thought I was going to be. I got to the meeting early, and I texted the colleague that was supposed to meet me there and said, hey, I'm here early. What can I order you? And it was at one of my favorite coffee shops here in San Francisco. The guy who had not been in the business for longer than just a year, maybe 2 years, so you would think that he'd have a little bit more respect for me and how much time I've been in, he just completely disregarded me. He didn't even lie to me. He didn't even try to lie to me. He didn't even come up with an excuse. He just canceled by saying, I'm not going to make it. I wish I still had the text because I would use it for so much motivation, but I guess I don't need it because it's fueled me ever since then, and I'll get to that part. But I felt in that moment just completely gut punched, so defeated. On top of that, I look at my BlackBerry, and that tells you how far back this was because I still had a BlackBerry at the time. I look at my BlackBerry and I check my emails. I lost a couple of clients. I had an angry email from another colleague that was upset at me about something, and I just felt like everything was coming down all at once, and this was this perfect storm. And some of you guys might relate in your careers or just even phases in life when it's just raining so much shit all at once. You feel like, you know what? I'm going to quit. I'm going to walk away. Like, fuck this. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And that's exactly the moment I had. I remember it like yesterday. I left my coffee, which was the only thing I had there. I didn't have anything else I was carrying. Walked out on my phone and stood outside the coffee shop on Market Street on the sidewalk. And I called my performance coach, Kai McBride, who I think is one of the best performance coaches in the country. I've been working with Kai since 2009. So we'd been together and known each other quite a bit. And he knew about my struggles and what I was dealing with month to month and my sales cycles and all the day-to-day stuff that I struggled with as a mortgage professional here in San Francisco. And I told him, I said, Kai, I think the universe is trying to tell me something. I think it's trying to tell me that it's basically, I'm done, that I should quit. And to be honest with you, I hate feeling like shit. I hate feeling so rejected. I hate feeling so commoditized. I'm ready to move on. Now, if any of this is resonating with you guys, again, regardless of what industry or space you're in or what stage in life, just stay with me here, because all of us have access to the exact same answer that I eventually found, and that is a personal brand and owning it. Well, back to the story here. Kai tells me, listen, I know you're good at what you do, and you know you're good at what you do, but does anybody else? And the answer was no. He said, if I Google you, what am I going to find? And this is something I want you all to ask of yourselves, because how we survive in this current economy and where it's headed, guys, with all of the disruption, with AI coming in so many different phases to not only help, but also to intrude and take away, you had better be evolving. You had better be sharp, and you had better take ownership of things, and you'd better be visible. And I wasn't. So I answered, if you Googled me, I guess outside of my martial arts background, you wouldn't find anything. Well, he said, I don't know what the exact answer is, Arjun, but you're going to have to change that. So I took some time out, had a conversation with my brother, who had already really gotten started with taking control of his personal brand. And I always had a little bit of a presence on social media, but it was nothing more than that. It was to be social. It was where I kept in touch with high school friends, college buddies, where I would kind of secretly, in not so creepy ways, like stalk girls that I was trying to date or try and find out who's dating who and where my openings might be. And also how I kept in touch with all of my friends in the international community of Taekwondo. It made the world a little bit smaller, but I never used it for anything else. So I had an audience, but I wasn't activating it. A few weeks later, I went to a Gary Vaynerchuk event in Miami with my brother, and everything just kind of lined up and clicked. And I realized that visibility is the currency. And the best way to create visibility would be to take ownership of my personal brand through social media. I'm going to tell you guys right now, a lot of people get confused because there's so much talk in the business world and in the creative world about personal brands, business brands. I'm going to simplify it for you right now. A brand is just your reputation. That's it. And your reputation is the sum of all of the things that you put out into the universe, into the world. It's what shows up to meetings before you do. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. And whether you like it or not, you have one. You just may not have taken full control of it yet. And up to that point in my journey, I had not either. So I did. And I had to go through some exercises of trying to figure out where I stood in my marketplace. And there was a quick exercise that I'll share with you guys that I did. It was painful, but it's something I think everybody needs to do. And I continually do this almost as a maintenance or a checkup, at least once a year, which was that I reached out to the last 5 people that I had worked with or interacted with. And I asked them, could you do me a favor, because I'm trying to make some big improvements in my business and my personal brand this year. Could you tell me what it was like to work with me in one word? What was the experience like when I helped you with that home loan or when I helped you consolidate all of that debt in just one word? And guys, the feedback I got was not very good. The responses were kind of mixed, and it was alarming, a little bit unnerving, very uncomfortable, but it told me why things weren't really sticking in the marketplace and why I wasn't being valued for the things that I wanted to be valued about. So I needed to do something to change that narrative. So in taking full command of my personal brand, I knew that not everyone's going to work with me. And if you're listening to this, not everyone is going to want to do business with you, transact with you, date you, accept you into that college program or into that apprenticeship. Not everyone will. But if enough people know about it, and enough people know about you and where you're going and what your intentions are and what you're really good at and who you serve, then I promise you, you will have more than enough opportunities and the dots will connect and there will be great success in your life. But unless you control that, you're pretty much just leaving it in fate's hands. And I said earlier on this is no time to be complacent. This is no time to wait. There's way too much disruption happening out there, regardless of what industry you're in. The economy is moving fast. And if you thought these last couple years were a bit of like holding your head saying, what the fuck is actually going on here and how do I get control of this? Just wait for this year. Buckle up, because 2026 and 2027, I think it's going to move even faster. So again, I recognize that not everyone will work with me, but I have 100% control over how visible I am. And if I'm always focused on the visibility, then I'm going to have enough chances. And that's the major takeaway I want for everybody here. Just be focused on visibility. So how did I do this? I started creating content. And in the beginning, I sucked at it. I would put out content that I thought people wanted to hear, or that I thought that they would be interested in, or more importantly, that made me feel and sound smart, intelligent, made me feel good. I was playing it very safe. And while it was raising visibility, it wasn't actually converting because it wasn't really helping anyone. I was creating awareness and people saw that I had a presence. They knew what it is I did far better than my competitors, because that was the advantage I had at the time, is no one I was competing against in my market was allowed to have any sort of online presence. And that was a huge green light for me that I had to run at and said, I can actually create some separation here. But once I started paying closer attention to what people actually cared about, what they were scared about, what they were confused by, what they really, truly were interested in, then it started to connect. And I'll urge anyone who's taking charge or taking command of their personal brand that you want to be thinking and really be hyper aware of whoever it is that you're trying to reach, whether it's a certain audience, a certain individual, an avatar, whatever it is. Study them. What are their desires? What are their needs? What are they driven by? What are they afraid of? What are they motivated by? What excites them? And that's what you have to speak to. That's how you'll connect the dots. Guys, again, I paid a very heavy dummy tax by doing this all wrong for the first 2 years. So wherever any of you might be in this whole personal brand journey or seizing it and taking control of it, creating content, having an online presence, if that can save you some time and money, please take that advice. Think about what it is that they want. You're creating stuff for them, not for you. It's all about the audience and nothing to do with you. Now, you might be an athlete who's in high school and you're trying to actually put together an online resume so that you can be noticed in college. Taking control of your personal brand, because what did I say it is? It's your reputation. And it's that reputation is the sum of all the things you put out into the world. And if you happen to be this performance athlete that does things, whether it's on an individual level or a team level, that's your brand. You got to own it. And if you don't blow your own horn, if you aren't your own PR agency that is putting your highlights, your accomplishments, your defeats, don't be ever afraid to talk about your losses, guys, because that humanizes all of us. And that's real instead of all the sunshine and rainbow stuff that most people see on Instagram. But if you aren't doing this, no one is going to do it for you. And if somebody else starts doing it, they're going to beat you. So talk about things, share things, even when it's uncomfortable. You'll find cadence with it. And while today's episode isn't a tactical how-to, I can always do that. And feel free to reach out to me anytime on Instagram at Arjun Mortgage if I can be of help to you in this space or teach you from my mistakes, because I'm happy to share it. I'm always an open book. But I just feel more than ever, guys, that everybody needs to do it. It's no longer optional. If you're in business, if you are a service provider, if you're someone that's just trying to forge a little bit more ahead in this competitive market or economy that we have here in the United States, which is only going to get more competitive, trust me, then you have to do what I'm talking about. Seize that personal brand, continue to develop it, continue to hone it, recognize that it's never ending, it's fluid, it constantly evolves. Have fun with it, enjoy it, be vulnerable, don't be afraid to fuck up, and be a real person and let the world in. Let them know the real you. You do this and there's all kinds of magic, because for me, everything that has come in the wake of that, everything that has happened because I started doing this and taking it more seriously has saved my career. It's created opportunities for me. It's opened doors that I didn't even know were possible. It's allowed me into rooms that I thought I had no business being in. It's connected me with the opportunity to shake the hands of people that I never thought I would ever be in the physical presence of. I'm only 7 or 8 years into this journey, and if what I'm sharing with you is going to help you speed that up, because I think the opportunity is even bigger and faster now than it was when I got started, then I was successful in today's episode. So for all of you that just need a quick exercise as we wrap this up to figure out maybe where you stand, do what I did and ask people that interact with you or that you've worked with previously, what was it like, in one word, to work with me or to be part of the experience or to associate with me? And if you don't feel like doing that, then just do an audit. Look online and ask yourself, if I was a stranger and I found me, would it be clear what it is I do? Would it be clear what it is my mission is in life, who I serve, what kind of a human being I am? And that's going to tell you where you stand and where you need to get started. And on the topic of being a good human being, guys, this year marks the second Better Human project that I'm hosting in San Francisco on February 26th. Last year, we did this event as something totally new. It was a huge risk, a passion project, if you will. And it has turned into something so powerful because the response was just over the top. The lives that were changed, the people's trajectories that were altered, the friendships and connections that were made, inspired me and actually instilled in me that this is something I must do every single year. So it's bigger this year. It's going to be even more powerful. And if you are up for making a trip to San Francisco or you're within a stone's throw of this place, then you will want to be there on February 26th. The website is mylfgenergy.com. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram at Arjun Mortgage and DM me to learn more about the event, and I'm happy to talk with you anytime. But I hope you found today's episode helpful, guys. Take control of those personal brands and just wait and see what kind of magic is in store for you on the other side. God bless you guys, and I will see you next week on the LFG Energy Podcast.